In the wake of the killings in Paris, the 129 deaths, the world is being taken over and abused by religious Muslim fanatics, both killing of homosexuals and the raping of women. In Sweden and in Germany, women are being raped by Muslim immigrants. Oh boy. Young girls and boys are taken in as sex slaves to be beaten and abused by fundamentalist Muslim immigrants, claiming they will impregnate and out-multiply European families. They are predicting their takeover in Europe within about 40 years. Has the whole world gone pansy? It's clear no open borders anymore. It must be stopped in all countries. Muslims must be vetted, and we must attack them when they attack us. The reason why that sounded a little screwbally is because it was actually, but in reality, the clip that you're about to see says almost exactly what I just said, only it's a little bit more emphatic and there's more pictures.
تحلوها هذه الفزورة وبكرة تبعتوا لنا الحلول بتاعت هذه الفزورة، ولو سمحتوا عايزكم تجاوبوا فزورة ظريفة جدا لطيفة جدا يعني نقدر نشتغل عليها. يوسف لو سمحت الفزورة بعد إذنك نشوفها مع السادة المشاهدين.
Climate change will impact every country on the planet. No nation is immune. So I'm here today to say that climate change constitutes a serious threat to global security, an immediate risk to our national security. And make no mistake, it will impact how our military defends our country.
والله ايه ده؟ بنت حمد بن جاسم؟ يا فندم انا ما اعرفش حضرتك يا فندم اللي تعرف، انا ما عنديش فكره. وايه اللي حصل لنجلة حمد بن جاسم؟
هو شاه ايران فين يا احمد بيه؟ فين شاه ايران؟ اين؟ مش امريكا اللي باعته؟ وهتبيعك يا تميم. ناخد اللقطه دي ونركنها.
مصر ستنتصر باذن الله، ولن تكون لقمه سائغه، وقطر بنت الوسخ.
طب خلاص مش ممكن. لا 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 مالوش حل. لا انا اسف برضو تاني، انا طول النهارده جاي عشان اقول اسف المشاهدين على نبيل شرف الدين. مش ممكن، فظيع خلاص. انا قلت خلاص عشان عايز اختم. عايز اقول التحرير وفي كل حته تلاقيه واقف متصور معاهم كلهم،
وراح ليبيا وتصور في ليبيا. ده يهودي. ايه اللي جايبه في الموضوع؟
مش بس يهودي،
ناخد بس يهودي. ايوه صهيوني. ناخد اللقطه دي ونركنها. نبص بقى لامير داعش اللي هو امام المسلمين الجدد او المتمسلمين او اللي جايبين ملايه كاتبين عليها احنا مسلمين ولافين نفسهم بيها.
قتل.
هو شاه ايران فين يا احمد بيه؟ فين شاه ايران؟ اين؟ مش امريكا اللي باعته؟ وهتبيعك يا تميم. وكل بيت خليفه هيتباعوا، وهتجيب
لسه دوره ما انتهاش،
وهتجيب من هو ادنى عشان يدير قطر، عشان يبقى مش نعل، يبقى شبشب بلاستيك بتاع حمام في رجل امريكا.
These things are going on now currently in Europe. There are a lot of women being raped, there are a lot of young boys being used as sex slaves, and there are a lot of immigrants flooding into the countries in Europe, and they have claimed that they will attempt to take over, and they anticipate they're going to do it in 40 to 60 years. I know it sounds all wacky, but it's got photographs, it also has video, and it explains it very carefully. Today I have a little bit of time to talk a little bit about it because it's an impactful time in our history. On my far right there, Carl Lanzasero, who's the founder of Americans for Legal Reform, and I have the president of Americans for Legal Reform, Gary Jacobs, here to his right, and he's also a family law reformer. The clip is really emphatic. You have to see the clip. You're going to see it when the show is over, of course, when you have the opportunity to, but it's just going to blow your mind that these things are actually happening. So the immigration issue has come full circle. It's here. Even in our country recently, they had a boatload of coming in of Syrian immigrants. I think the number was 10,000. I don't know if you guys know about that. Just coming into Louisiana. So now they just put a stop to that. So the Republicans have ganged together in our country and they've put a stop to the immigration issue coming in from Syria.
Have they put a stop yet, or are they still talking about it?
They're talking about it. The first 10,000 were already here. So 10,000, or I forget the exact number, it's about 10,000 immigrants from Syria are already here. Now, they just decided to stop it. So finally there's something going on to stop it. When does it stop? When does it start? And are we setting ourselves up for another Paris?
Well, we advocate that every Syrian immigrant should be put in a lawyer's house or home or a judge. They should have to live with a lawyer and a judge, and if they're divorce lawyers, 2 of them should be moved into the house.
Sounds like a good idea.
And with that, all the cigarettes they want. I mean, this country is so illogical and stupid, and I have to say it's generally the wacko liberals. The wacko liberals voted for Obama because of his attitude to gay rights. And here he's got
and women in combat.
And he's got this open, bring Syrian refugees in, and they want to kill all the
I know.
gays.
It's got to be.
So where is your brains either you're left or you're right? Well, today I'll be for black, and tomorrow I'll be for white. What is it?
Maybe he thinks he'll change them.
What can change that?
Not possible. There's too many.
I had a discussion today with a wacko liberal lawyer. What a combination. And he's convinced that Obama is doing the right thing.
I know.
Obama hasn't
Well, do you
done.
think Obama thinks he's doing the right thing, or do you think he has an ulterior motive?
I think he has other motives. Nobody in his right mind can think that this is the right thing to do.
A narcissistic person always does the right thing.
Yeah, they
they
think
never do anything wrong. Everything is someone else's fault. And this idiot lawyer, it's Bush's fault that Obama for 8 years has been unable to do anything.
Yeah, right, I know.
It's always Bush's fault. Even if it was Bush's fault, what are you doing today?
Yeah.
What's today's solution? We have the worst president we've ever had in this country. And now the lawyers in France are suing because the bomb went off at 4 o'clock in the morning and disturbed the neighbors.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I mean, the lawyers are just as bad in France, the liberal lawyers, as they are here in the United States. They're just as stupid, maybe a little more.
Well, we can't depend on the United Nations to come up with anything, and
what's the United Nations?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bunch of people who just watch over things, but they
They'll
don't seem to
take
do anything.
money from.
First, we had a southern border issue with immigrants coming from mostly Central and South America. Then we had a northern border issue, which everyone seemed to occupy Dearborn, Michigan, and Detroit, and that's basically. What do they call it now?
Safe city. A safe city?
No, you mean
You mentioned
Sanctuary city.
Sanctuary cities.
You mentioned a few moments ago 129 people killed in France. There's 300 people killed in Chicago this year so far, in Baltimore, excuse me.
Right.
In Baltimore. And in Chicago's another 300. And it'll top 350. It's an average of 1 a day. Who cares? Nobody cares. They just keep letting it happen.
This particular thing finally got the politicians together, this particular event.
It hasn't gotten anybody together because they're all arguing as much as they...
I don't know if this is going to be, I think, a breaking point. I really believe that this is going to be the beginning of the end.
Bringing things together, you mean?
No,
or break things apart?
stopping the ISIS momentum,
Well, I think
putting a halt to the
I
ISIS
think
momentum.
what it may do is unify all the countries. You know,
Right, that's what I'm
'cause at the
thinking.
end of the day, now the Russian jetliner was brought down by ISIS. Now Paris
by
was
a
done.
bomb in a can of soda.
Right. So now I think listen, as much as
Yeah, well,
Russia
for
may
sure, yeah.
hate President Obama, or France, I don't know how they feel about Obama, or as much as even Americans, listen, they gotta bring. Unfortunately, we're not leading it, which our president should be the leader of all these things. I mean,
He leads from behind.
who would have thought that France would be the one attacking ISIS and saying, "Come on, everybody," or Putin would be the one saying, "Come on, everybody, let's all get together and attack the." It should be the United States. But you know what? Hey, thank God, at least they're doing it, and hopefully we'll join in.
In the clip, I know you didn't have a chance to see it beforehand, but in the clip, a bunch of Arabs are speaking in Arabic languages from their countries. Syrians and Jordanians are speaking in this clip. So you'll have a chance to see it later after the show is done. But in the clips, they say Obama's not doing this. He should pay attention to his own country. He's letting everything go. He's a weak and a pansy. So they're all one writer saying that this guy's a useless leader. Obama's a useless leader.
It's good for
and
them.
these are the Israelis, the Arabs and all the people in the center Middle East who are doing all the talking on the air on their television programs. So, I mean, if that's not revealing I don't know what is. So you'll be happy to see
But the
that.
wacko liberals do not agree with it. What do they know what they're talking about?
But Carl, you see it, but the liberals, don't you think they don't want to get killed either in terrorist attacks? I mean, as liberal as you are, you don't want to get it. You don't want to have somebody come kill you.
Liberals want, France has...
No, they still for the open
There's
borders. They're
no
still
guns.
they're allowing this possibility
There's
to
no
occur.
guns allowed in France. It's the most stringent gun laws in the world. That's why so many people got killed, because
Right.
no one had a gun.
No one had a gun.
And liberals will still argue today, we have to take your guns away. I mean, where is their common sense? They have none.
Yeah, they
I'm not
say that
very smart. I
the
gotta-
sanctuary cities do one thing, and these other cities in Paris without the ability to have guns are going to do another. And England has the same thing. They have billy clubs. So in Sweden, they don't want to have guns either. So the Scandinavian countries are going to go down first. Sweden is, they say, within the next 10 years is going to be 1/3 Muslim. Sweden.
Well, Muslim children average
Rapes have
5.
quadrupled.
Muslim families have 5 children.
Right.
Americans only have 1.5, I think the
Yeah,
average
like I
is.
said in the opening, they're out multiplying us in huge numbers. So they're anticipating that they're going to just completely impregnate and completely destroy the populations in the countries that they're immigrating to. I mean, it's not just like a
According
guess
to-
here. This
according-
is a real thing. These are
According
real things happening.
to statistics, 10% of Muslims are radical. That's 100 million people. 150 million people are radical. They want to kill you. Muslim is the only religion and government together. So you start right from, in this country, you can't mix religion and government. But they're starting with that. So they're breaking the Constitution when you let them in right.
I don't like the idea that they use God. They say, God is great, yet they can kill. I mean, what God would, I can't
Because
fathom
that's their
that.
because it's their, the same as our laws are.
Well, they believe in Sharia
No,
law.
but killing.
Which is a conflict
Right. You
of
can't
everything
believe,
we
right, they say
do.
you can't
Yeah.
believe in both.
But
We're not going to be
they're
able to
gonna-
merge
they're
those two
gonna-
ideologies.
They're
It'll never
going to
happen.
vet. You hear these wacko liberals on. They're vetting the 10,000 that came. You know what their idea of vetting is? What's your religion at home? Are you well? Have you been sick lately? They have no.
You can't vet that. You
What
know
is that? What a kind
I mean, if you're a radical Muslim, you don't think you say, nobody's going to go in
Yeah.
there and say,
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
I'm
wait to
radical.
get to your country
Yes.
because
And
I'm a
girls-
radical Muslim because I want to blow people up. That's the
What,
dumbest thing.
The guy in Texas
Right.
came in that
In the-
way. The kids in Chicago and Boston came in that way. How many
But
shootings
consider
are
that
there?
even Americans, let's say that we reverse it a little bit, look at our culture, Americans being interviewed. Do you think a bunch of us would suddenly say that we're going to kill the people from, I don't know, Brazil or something? And then we're going to go after everybody in Brazil and we're going to kill them. And that would be...
Well, that's what
You wouldn't think they were
What
wacko?
did Nazi
Yes,
Germany
but
did.
on the clip, they also have people saying that we're going to come and kill you. We're going to rape your wives. It's really murderous.
But they're not going to do it in my neighborhood.
yeah.
As I said from the
Yeah.
beginning.
Do you have any safety? If you feel
If we
safe, there's
take
something wrong.
if we would take all the refugees and put them up with lawyers, it would solve 2 problems.
Not politicians.
Well, we can add them too, I suppose.
Politicians are lawyers. Most people think that to be a politician, you have to be a lawyer.
Most people do think that.
And our Constitution was written by farmers, teachers, doctors. There was, in fact, the first 100 years in this country, lawyers were not allowed in the courtroom. They were considered vermin. And they still are vermin, but they run the courtroom.
You know, what's going on is laughable to me. And I have to keep pointing to our president.
It's not laughable. It makes you, it's sad.
I mean, he was supposed, even early on, I don't want to go all the way back to fight this same issue about him being a community organizer, but that is what he was. It was very good.
He's never had a job in his
He
life.
doesn't know anything about international
But we
politics,
don't even have to talk about his past.
he
We can
doesn't
talk-
want it.
But now we can talk about what he's done. And he's been in office, so now we can talk about what he's done
Yeah.
or not done.
And he's not done
He's not a
anything.
leader.
He played golf. The first thing he said
That's what
when
they say in the clip, by the way. They say he's not a leader. He shouldn't be the leader of our
first thing he
country.
wanted to do when he became, he said the first speech he made January 1st was to let the Muslims out of Gitmo.
Yeah.
We have to let the Muslims out of Gitmo. He still won't admit they're radical.
No, and many of them have tried to come back and kill the infidels, whoever they may be. I guess the rest of the world.
us.
I
know.
mean, what? And
No, he hasn't done anything right when it comes to international law. I'm clear about that. I mean,
I
I'm
think
very
that's why,
clear about
but
that.
I also think that's why ISIS, people say, oh, they create, you know what? I think one of the reasons they can rise is because if you want to rise and do it, this is the time in history to do it. Because if we get another president who's stronger, even whether you like George Bush or not,
Yeah.
if George Bush was in there and all this was happening, I think he'd be fighting a little bit tougher
Yeah,
than Obama's
sure,
fighting.
sure.
He'd be, first of all, he'd be standing up for Israel, and they would be on our sides during this whole thing. He would be uniting everybody together. If you want to uprise, the time to do it is probably now.
Yeah, right in
while
the
you have
last year,
Obama
in
being the
this last
president.
12 months or so.
you mentioned politicians, and a lot of times liberals say, well, now, only lately, they all lie. But not everybody is stupid enough to believe the lies. I mean, you hear people say something, you know he's a politician, you know they're lawyers, you know they get paid to lie. You have to discern when they're telling the truth and when they're lying. Liberals can't tell the difference.
It sounds
There's-
crazy, but that's exactly how I see it. I see that the Democrats, and unfortunately they've been co-opted by liberals. The Democratic Party isn't really a Democratic Party anymore. It's more like a liberal party.
No,
They've
it's
been
not the
co-opted by it.
Kennedy Democrats.
It's certainly not blue dog Democrats either. It's nothing like what was a long time ago. Now it's very liberal, the whole entire party. But I don't see
They're
it.
politically correct.
It's
How
like,
can you,
how can you survive and support what Obama's done? How can you possibly support?
and be we must
This-
be politically correct.
And when it comes to losing your lives, I think that politically
Well,
correct is off.
Yeah, like let the
You know,
other
just
things
like the
go.
screenings
It's
at
not
the
as important.
airports when they're screening old
He's still
old
talking
white
about
women who are going through the screening and letting the Muslims go through
Yeah.
because they don't want to
The Muslim
upset them.
women, they don't want because they don't want
Right.
to take the thing
At a
off their
time
head.
like this, the other day, President Obama started his speech and went on about global warming.
You heard what Sanders said.
What the heck? I
Did
mean,
you-
okay for
did you
somewhere
hear what
down in the future, but not now. We're
Bernie
under
Sanders
duress.
said ISIS is caused by global warming.
Yeah, well, there's a,
And the day before France, Obama says we have them contained. We have the ISIS contained. Contained where?
Yeah.
They're
yeah,
like,
every time he
they're
says
like-
something, they prove him wrong the following
the
day.
next
It's
day.
blowing my mind, this guy.
They're like cockroaches. They're
Yeah.
all over the
Listen,
place.
let's be a little bit fair. During the Bush administration, there were several times when I said, "Oh my God, I wish that didn't happen." I admit that he wasn't a perfect president. Better in the first 4 years than in the second 4 years when he had a Democratic Congress. He had a lot more
We
trouble.
all
but
make
this
mistakes.
president is absolutely destroying America by laying flat, laissez-faire attitude to everything that goes on. He's completely
Every
laying it out.
president makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. This fellow
He has
cannot do anything right.
do anything right.
And why? Because you have people that are adamant for him and won't open their eyes. We have an acquaintance that believes that we never landed on the moon.
Right.
It's all done in Hollywood.
Right.
The Vietnam War never happened. Bush is an idiot, but he planned the World Trade Center bombing.
I love that one.
And Obama is terrific. He's taking care of the country. How could a person like that, and these are intelligent, I call them intelligent idiots.
I think they can't be intelligent anymore. You can't live in this stupid world of false
Listen,
dreams.
I have a room temperature IQ, but I know when somebody is lying. I could, ears wiggle, my nose wiggles.
Your nose
They're
turns
liars.
red. Rudolph.
You're lying.
Yeah.
Now, after I went through a $500,000 legal fee divorce, I know when somebody's lying. Their lips are moving if they're lawyers and politicians. And they're trying to convince the country that we're safe.
It's a strange period of time, which I think if we could capture this time and show it out into the future, people will go, "What the F? Are you kidding me? There's some entire administration
future right
engineered this."
now.
No, but I mean, right now we see it. It's obvious.
Geraldo voted for Obama because of his attitude on gay rights.
Yeah.
What are we crazy?
I know.
When you have, I went to Steve Levy's one of his pep rallies.
Cost-effective
And the first
government.
person that stood up and talked and says, "What's your attitude on women's rights?" He's running Suffolk County. What has that got to do with
It's the
it?
same, you can't discern differences. When somebody keeps making something an issue, it becomes the issue for them, and everybody else that surrounds it and believes in
A
it.
very good friend hated Bush because of his attitude on steroids. What was the thing?
Stem
stem cells.
Stem cell. What has that got to do with defending the country?
Well, I see that right now when people fighting about gay marriage, and
right.
I happen to be for it, but wherever you stand on it, we got ISIS wanting to kill us.
I
And
know.
destroy.
And
You know
you're
what?
right.
Focus on that.
Yeah,
because
Rhea, please.
Nobody may be married because we may all be killed.
That's right.
And
California.
even the global warming is the same
I
thing.
have a
It's an
liberal
issue.
friend of mine that says, oh, I'm not going to live in fear. You better start waking up,
better.
pal.
Well, I think that's funny when people say
Yeah.
we're not going to live in. Listen.
Yeah, give me a break.
Yeah.
You can stick your head in the sand.
That's what they're doing.
Meantime, that Hollyweird that says that
Yeah.
has got a guarded, gated house that he lives in with guards, dogs,
guns.
all around him.
Yeah, I know.
What are we? The weirdos in California just passed a law to double the size of chicken coops. Now,
Free-range chickens.
isn't that important? The price of eggs in California went from $1.50 to $5. And if you import eggs, that wherever
I don't know why people can't do
You have
that
to bring up
ordinarily.
the eggs, because I actually think the chickens do deserve a bigger coop. I'm against factory farming. I just want to be on the record.
Yeah,
and
so
that
am
should
I.
have been done a long time ago.
I
but-
didn't mean
I'm
to
with you.
insult your
okay,
chickens.
thank you. But I do think,
God
listen,
bless your chickens.
because we determine our, a lot of
But
our
that's
culture.
your decision,
No,
not
but
a
we
law.
have, but as Americans, we should look out for our animals.
I don't like caged animals no matter how you put it. I really don't like the idea.
The debt in California is approximately $15,000 per person. If you take California,
Yeah.
it's $15,000. Now they're losing 200,000 people a month. So the last guy out of California is going to own the entire debt. How is he going to pay it? I mean, somebody's got to get brains that's in charge of this country.
Well, I'm fearful of the last year. I'm fearful of the last 14 months of his administration because the last year was pathetic. It was horrible. It was distrusting. I'm worried about my safety now. If there was some way that I...
It's not the last year, Chris. It's the
Oh,
last
yeah.
8 years.
No, but I mean, really, the last year was really bad. I mean, this was not possible to get worse.
Obama doesn't start his day until 11 o'clock. He by the time he has coffee, and then he goes and plays golf. I mean, who's running the country?
Well, he doesn't really know how to do it, to be honest with you.
He's not interested
No, he
in it.
doesn't.
I think that's being polite. You could argue that he's got another motive because
Yeah,
look what
I
he
think
did,
he
look what
has
he did in the
another
Middle
motive.
East. I personally, what he's done with
I
Israel
think he's
is
got another motive.
He's destroyed the whole
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, the same-
He's caused unrest.
The same
in
thing
the
with the
Middle
Iran
East.
deal, right? Look
So
at that
look
Iran
at,
deal.
look at that. Exactly, the Iran deal is a perfect. He's got to look to destroy it. How do you do this?
Another acquaintance.
Yeah, he says they're friends of Israel, and then he lets the
He's
Iran
not
deal
friend-
go.
I don't
Are
think he's
you
friends with
kidding
the
me?
United States.
That's right. I don't think so either.
On Netanyahu when he came here
Yeah.
the first time. I mean,
Yeah, I know, it's
I have
unfathomable.
another acquaintance that says, whenever they say hello, I say, they say to me, how are you doing? I say, I'm doing great. Obama's taking care of me.
Yeah.
And the Jewish gentleman that has a boat behind me says, oh yeah, he's doing a wonderful job. I'm Jewish, but I still think he's... I said, how about Netanyahu? What do you think of him? He's an idiot. Netanyahu's... You're Jewish and Netanyahu
I know,
is
I have
an
a few
idiot?
Jewish friends that
I
think
says,
that
how about Al
Netanyahu's...
Sharpton? What do you think of
I
him?
know.
Oh,
At least he's doing this. At least he's doing
yeah.
that. Yeah. Oh, God
Come on.
Almighty.
They're the ones that started
I've
the
always
tr-
said that the split and divide in the political parties is going to take us down, and looks like one of those times. You can't get the common sense across the line.
Every country falls apart from within.
Yeah.
It's not from outside.
I gotcha.
It's from within.
And I think
and
you're
it's
right.
not the last year, Chris. It's the last 8 years.
Yeah. Again, thank you very much, Gary Jacobs and Carl Lancesera from Americans for Legal Reform. Welcome to Gray Matters, a program that brings the wisdom, energy, and successes of baby boomer generations and revisits some of our mistakes too. We hope you connect the dots for the ideas that work and discern the ones that won't for the future generations. We plan to restore intelligence and replenish your moral compass with conversation, debate, and levity in these times of great social concerns. I'm honored to host this program. The fate of America weighs heavily on our great nation today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.